Sometimes bad sounding audio is just kind of unavoidable. We've all been in that scenario where you get an interview through and it just sounds like this.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy.
Well, let's check out how we can make it sound like this.
Including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary, what is Czech, then was Bohemia, and so on.
Now, this is something that I've been doing for people for a lot of years, for their podcasts, for their interview audio. If this is something that you just want doing quickly, then drop me an email in the links down below. Or if you want to learn how to do it for yourself, then let's take a little look. Now, this is not using plugins that are free, or really some of them are not even that inexpensive. But this is the process that I've kind of learned over the years, and I want to walk you through it and just look at the exact stages of what each thing is doing. Now, I'm not saying you have to use these exact plugins. These are just the ones that I have that I find work the best. So let's go through them. First off, I've got Dialogue Isolate, and this is from iZotope. And I really feel like this is one of the best out there for just getting rid of reverb and not introducing any artifacts on the audio. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of all the other plugins in the chain, and we're just going to take a listen to this one. I'm going to bypass it and then bring it in and hear exactly what it's doing. So with the bypass first.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy. Including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary, what is Czech, then was Bohemia, and so on.
It just takes away a little bit of that roominess. And what we're really not doing here is we're not going, right, reverb all the way down, because if you do that, you can introduce artifacts. Noise reduction is not an exact kind of one plugin does everything. It's about small processes and a lot of them. And this is really important. I'm using this just to get rid of a little bit of the reverb. And then further down the line, I'm going to introduce some more things which are going to get rid of it even more. So that's the first one. And I could be going crazy with this, but I find that minus 15 dB is a really good level to be at to then take me on to my next chain of processing. So after that, I like to go into Velvet. Now, Velvet is a de-esser and kind of a voice garbage get rid of. I don't use the tonal on this one. It's kind of a spectral shaper, and it will just get the kind of EQ curve of your voice where it expects it to be. I prefer to do it myself, so I'm turning this off. What I am using is the sibilance, so I'm using the de-esser, and I'm using the mouth declick. So let's just take a listen to this before and after. This one is more subtle, and the point here is that in this interview, the whole interview is like an hour and a half long, and sometimes you get little bits of sibilance that really just go out throughout the room, and you get bits that just excite the room more than others. And by getting rid of the room sound first, that reverb, we're then kind of cleaning it up so that we're just left with the Essie bits. And when I take these out, you're going to notice that it just gets a little bit smoother. And importantly, you're going to see kind of the area that it's a problem in. You can actually see on this where the issues lie. And when you get to a particularly Essie bit, you can kind of just zone in on this. This is just a blanket approach. I'm just getting things a little bit sweeter with this. So before and then after.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy. Including what is today Austria.
We've got a delta, so we can take a listen to exactly what it's removing. Just some of those clicks, some of that kind of mouth garbage, as we say, just getting rid of a little bit of the sibilance just to clean it up before we go into this next one, which is really the star of the show. Now, I've spoken about this plugin before, and I really do feel it is absolutely phenomenal at this kind of task, but I like to clean stuff up before it goes into it. So let's actually bypass it and then bring it in and just check out the difference.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy. Including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary, what is Czech, then was Bohemia, and so on.
It just makes it sound far more like it was recorded through a proper microphone. Now, this interview in particular has been recorded through a microphone on a laptop, and it does sound very, very roomy. It does sound quite thin. And I'm really dealing with the room first, and then I'm dealing with that thinness by using this dxRevive. Now, you can get this for not very much money. I think, I don't want to say exactly how much it is because I can't remember. It's about $60, something like that. You can get the Pro version, which is far more expensive. But this one I find does just so much. And you can be more aggressive or less aggressive. But as I said, really, I'm aiming to do a little bit with a lot of plugins. So this one I'm just set to 50%, and it's just making it sound a bit more like it was recorded in a studio. I really do find that this plugin is, if you're going to get one in here, then this is going to do the broadest range of jobs out of all of them, I feel. So let's take a listen without any of that, and then we'll bring them all in, all those three, and see what we've done so far, because that's really the revival kind of stuff that we're doing.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy, including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary.
It's just so much better. And then we can go in and we can kind of shape things a little bit more tonally. So I like to use just the standard EQ because I can just click on it. This is just in Logic, but you can use whatever you want. But I like to add a pretty broad boost in the low end. And using the frequency display, I can see where it is that low end is going to be sitting. And this is going to change for each voice. A female voice is going to be drastically different than a male voice. Different male voices will change the kind of resonance of the low end, as will female voices. But I find this is great for just adding some warmth and adding some essence of it kind of being up against the microphone.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy, including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary, what is Czech, then was Bohemia, and so.
So that just adds a little bit of low end, just a little bit of kind of warmth. And as I'm listening to this, I'm noticing that there's a little bit of sibilance just around this area here.
What is today Hungary, what is today.
On the today, and then.
What is today Hungary, what is Czech.
On Czech in particular. So what we can actually do is we can just set locators around that.
What is Czech.
And then go into Velvet and just see where that is presenting a problem.
What is Czech.
Just here. Do you see that one?
What is Czech.
So that's quite a specific frequency. So if I just go into this and create another band, and then say I want to come down on just this one, it's going to be quite narrow. And then let's see how this sounds.
What is Czech.
Bring it down a bit more and broaden it out.
What is Czech.
Getting better. Let's bring it down and broaden it out even more. And maybe bring the amount up a little bit.
What is Czech.
We're getting there. Bring the threshold down.
What is Czech. 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 What is Czech.
Before.
What is Czech. What is Czech.
And the thing is, you're still noticing a little bit of a tonality there, which is not a problem in the grand scheme of things. That's just the way that the mouth has kind of said those words. But it's really important to know that we can just dive in and just take out specific frequencies. And this may be really broad. This may be not broad enough. It's all about kind of going in and just finding that specific frequency and just getting rid of it. Really handy in Velvet because you can see what's going on. You can bring on the delta, as I showed you earlier, and you can really just be so specific about what it is you want to get rid of. Now, the final one is BX Console. Now, this is not traditionally, I guess, a voiceover or interview kind of plugin, but I use it because I use it on everything. And as you'll see, I've got no filters engaged. I've got no EQ engaged. I've got no gator expanding engaged. All I've got is the compressor. What I love about this compressor is that I can start off. So my default state is just down here. And what I can do is just listen and bring this up. And this is just like a get better kind of control. This one just makes everything sound a little more complete and makes everything sound a bit more, for the want of a better word, professional. So let's do that. Let's bring this down. This is the gain reduction we're looking at over here. So we're going to look at this control here. These LEDs here, and we're going to start to see a bit of compression. So as I bring this up, we're going to start to kind of tickle around the 3 and maybe a little bit on the 6. And that, in my mind, is where we need to be heading.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy, including what is today Austria, what is today Hungary, what is Czech, then with Bohemia and so on, all over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy, including what is today Austria.
Yeah, I just feel like it adds a little air of brilliance to it, and it just adds a little bit of completeness to it. Now you'll notice how with the EQ that I did previously, I could have easily done that EQ in this one and then just done the compression in the same plugin. But for me, when I'm doing this kind of restoration, I guess we could call it, I like to have each individual process in its own plugin, and I find that really useful for me to actually be able to switch on just the compressor or switch off just the EQ and just be able to hear exactly what each one is doing. So it's kind of a 5-step process in my mind, and this is something that I've been doing for a long time for people that they just want something done quickly and they just want to send me an interview and have it sound loads better. The noise removal, the room noise removal is always my first step, because I want to just be left with kind of the voice, and then I get rid of the S's. I get rid of the S's and the mouth nonsense, the clicking, which is great on Velvet because you can do it so easily and so quickly. dxRevive is really, I can't speak highly enough about this plugin. It does such great things for a relatively low price, and it just does that thing. It just makes it sound like it's in a studio, which is fantastic. The EQ is going to be subjective to whichever voice you've got, but I like to give it a boost in the low end just to bring up a little bit of that resonance. And then the compressor is just a bit of a safety net, just bringing everything down just a touch to make it feel like it's more complete and a bit of kind of homogeny in it. So one last time, let's take a listen before and after. Hopefully this has shown you exactly what I do, and maybe you can apply it to some of your interviews as well. Here it is, before and after.
All over Europe, from the Netherlands, what is today Belgium, to Italy, including what is today Austria, what is...
Absolutely miles better. The thing is with this, you're never going to get something that sounds exactly like it was recorded in the studio. But to the untrained ear, you get something that is absolutely loads better and just matches something a bit closer that was recorded in the studio. So if you have the other interviewer who was recorded properly, you can't have that sounding so roomy and so just thin and noisy. You need to get it sounding a bit closer. So give that a try if that works on your interview techniques. And even if you don't want me to do it for you, drop me an email if you're having trouble with stuff like this, because there's always ways to work around and get a little bit closer to that sound using your specific audio that you've got. So I hope that's helpful, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.